So the question came up. It was kind of it was a conversation more than a question. I didn't go snarky or nerdy on anybody, but somebody was making a comment about muscle cars, and I find myself a little bit of a purist when it comes to things like this. I'm no expert by any means. I'm old, and I've been having a great time with cars my whole life, but I have this 64 full-size Ford. It's got a big block. It's fun as hell. But the question of the illusion of, muscle cars and things like that, is this 64 Galaxie a muscle car? In my opinion, it's not. The first muscle car, so a muscle car has to have been made, and again, this is just the world according to Rob Rivers. Muscle cars were cars produced between 1964 and 1974. The way I think of it, technically, they are mid-size cars with larger than standard motors in them, typically a big block motor. But it doesn't have to be. You can have Hypo 327s, I don't want to use Camaros or a different sort, but a 302, the big deal 302, 360 horse was a potent motor, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a big block. But muscle car is a mid-size car, 2 doors with back seats, that has a larger than what would be standard in the vehicle from the factory, in an effort to make it faster, to give it more power and things like that. So for example, the first muscle car is the 64 GTO. Okay, I'm not going to get into the history of it. Okay, just know the 64 GTO is the first muscle car. Okay. It came with, a variety of engines, okay? But that Le Mans or Tempest did not come with a 389. Rules were broken, there was deception, all sorts of stuff, and they put a 389 with the optional intakes and everything, okay? The 3 2 barrels. They put a motor that was intended to be in the full-size cars, like the Catalina, into a mid-size car. So that's what makes it a muscle car. So a Chevelle with a big block is a muscle car because the Caprice or the Impala was the full-size car, okay? Do I think a 66 Impala Super Sport with a 396 is a muscle car? I don't know. I might be a naysayer, but I say no, because that's the full-size car. The muscle car is the mid-size car with the full-size drivetrain to get an advantage over the other cars. Okay, and it all comes from race day. What wins on Sunday sells on Monday. That whole thing. So there's that. Looking at people seeing Camaros and Mustangs and things like that. Man, I love muscle cars, and it's it's innocent enough, and there's no reason to make a big deal out of it. But for general knowledge purposes, really cool ass cars. Okay, you have basically 4 classifications. Okay, you've got muscle cars, you've got pony cars, you've got full-size cars, and you have Corvettes. Okay, and that's the what's the big car show? McCacken, the big annual car show they have. Okay, it's called the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals because they know that Corvettes are not muscle cars. Okay, they're not a mid-size car. They don't have back seats. So that's two of the three things right there that eliminate them from being muscle cars, but they're, you know, kind of in that same category. So yeah, so Chevelle Super Sport 396 muscle car. Okay, if we're talking about Fords, you know, what is a Ford muscle car? Okay, 66 Fairlane with a 427. Okay, or a GT or GTA with a 390. Okay, I would consider those muscle cars. That's the mid-size, two-door, has back seats, big block under the hood. Okay, Buick, you know, Buick GS with the big block. Oldsmobile 442 is the mid-size. Okay, because there's, you know, bigger full size, so on and so forth. And then your full-size cars, you know, is a Pontiac Catalina with a 389 and 3 deuces, you know, is it a muscle car? No, it's a full-size car. It's a badass car, but it's not technically a muscle car in my opinion. Talked about Impalas. I don't consider Impalas to be muscle cars. They're badass. Is somebody going to get offended if somebody does call it a muscle car? Probably not. So, and then, you know, the pony cars, the Camaros. What was the first pony car? Man, I got my ass spanked a few weeks back. Apparently the Barracuda, the 64 Barracuda, was made like 2 weeks before the Mustang, and I didn't know. So technically the first pony car was the Barracuda. But, you know, Mustangs, Camaros, they're pony cars because that's what they are. But anyway, I hope that's fun. It's nerdy. It's fun. It's cool to hear different opinions on the fact. Let me hear what your opinions are in the comments. Like and subscribe. Got 11 new subscribers just this week, so that's cool. Like I said, I'm trying to hit that 500 mark because, frankly, I don't know what happens. Apparently, I might be able to make a buck. So let's see what happens. I'll see y'all next time.